This is also impacting the Korean peace talks. China doesn't want to be seen as an obstacle, but it will not let America be the protagonist either. But then again, we're talking about Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. They do not need a third player to destabilize anything. They're very good at it themselves. Hence the question mark on their meeting. Will it happen after all? Indications are that it's back on track, that they are indeed meeting this month, later, in fact next month, 12th of June. North Korea is still willing to hold a dialogue with US President Donald Trump. Last Friday, Kim Jong-un reached out to the South Korean president for a meeting. Both leaders then sat down face-to-face on Saturday at the denuclearized zone, and this time on the North Korean side for a high-level meeting. On Sunday, both the Americans and South Koreans confirmed that a summit between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump will be held on 12th June. That cannot be ruled out, they said. We are now given to understand that two groups of American diplomats have been dispatched to Pyongyang and Singapore to lay the groundwork. And going by Trump's tweets, it looks like the summit is still on. Earlier today, the US president said, and I quote, "Our United States team has arrived in North Korea to make arrangements for the summit between Kim Jong-un and myself. I truly believe North Korea has brilliant potential and will be a great economic and financial nation one day. Kim Jong-un agrees with me on this. It will happen." Trump needs allies to make this work, and India is strategically poised to play a role in the Korean Peninsula. Remember, India is one of the few countries in the world which has diplomatic presence both in Seoul and Pyongyang. Earlier this month, India's Junior Minister for External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, travelled to North Korea on the invitation of the Kim regime, and this was the first time in nearly 2 decades that an Indian minister had paid a visit to North Korea. But today, during an interaction with the press, the Indian External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that India is not looking to mediate between North Korea and the US. Listen in.
जब यहाँ आए थे और हम दोनों प्रेस स्टेटमेंट दे रहे थे, तो उसमें ये सवाल आया था कि यूएस ये कह रहा है कि अपनी अपनी एम्बेसीज हटा लो, भारत ने तो एम्बेसी हटाई नहीं है। तो मैंने उनके सामने ये कहा था कि हम चाहते हैं कि कुछ ऐसी एम्बेसीज वहाँ बनी रहें कि कल को अगर यूएस को डायलॉग करना पड़े तो उनके फ्रेंडली कंट्री की एम्बेसी वहाँ हो। तो हमने उस समय भी एम्बेसी हटाई नहीं थी, हमारी तब भी एम्बेसी थी और आज भी एम्बेसी है। जहाँ तक मीडिएटर का सवाल है, हम लोग कोई मीडिएशन इसमें नहीं कर रहे हैं। नॉर्थ कोरिया और साउथ कोरिया पहले आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद यूएस के साथ बात करने की बात आई, फिर अमेरिका को लगा शायद चाइना इसमें कोई रोल अदा कर सकता है, तो वो रोल अदा कर रहे हैं। ना हमसे किसी ने रोल अदा करने के लिए कहा है और ना हम इसमें कोई रोल अदा कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारे बायलैटरल रिलेशंस के चलते जनरल वीके सिंह डीपीआरके की यात्रा करके आए हैं।
On the other hand, South Korean President Moon Jae-in has played an instrumental role in opening up a channel of communication between the North Koreans and the Americans. He was quick to call an emergency meeting in the middle of the night after the US president announced that he had decided to pull out of the summit. By meeting Kim Jong-un during the weekend, he managed to secure a commitment for the summit, both from Washington and Pyongyang. After talks with Kim Jong-un, President Moon called for more impromptu talks with the North.
회담에서 무엇보다 의미가 컸던 것은 남북의 정상이 긴급한 현안을 논의하기 위해 번잡한 절차와 형식을 생략하고 일상적인 만남처럼 쉽게 연락하고 쉽게 약속하고 쉽게 만났다는 사실입니다.
Now reports say South Korean President Moon may be part of the Kim-Trump meeting. So who is this man who's been pushing for the impossible, who has saved the Korea peace talks? His parents lived in North Korea, his mother sold eggs, his father worked at a camp meant for prisoners. He dreams of a unified Korea and has been working towards it. Meet the South Korean President Moon Jae-in, whose art of persuasion is creating a path for peace in the world.
Moon Jae-in has done the unthinkable, both as president and as a master of negotiations. He's the man who got the two temperamental leaders on the talking table. Trump and Kim Jong-un changed their minds several times, but this man never gave up. He got an aggressive Kim Jong-un to tone down and cross the border for peace talks last month. The two countries even marched under the same flag at the Winter Olympics, indeed a rare spectacle. And taking note, the Time magazine even featured him on its cover as the negotiator. Those who know Moon Jae-in say his rise from humble beginnings to the president's house has been nothing short of a blockbuster movie. Born in 1953 on a small island, he spent his early years in poverty. His childhood was spent being strapped to his mother's back as she sold eggs to make ends meet. He is known for making hectic efforts to revive peace in the Korean peninsula. But not many know that he has roots in North Korea. His parents fled the north during the Korean War. Moon has often mentioned that he dreams of a peaceful unification of the two Koreas. And on the personal front, he wants to take his 90-year-old mother to her hometown in North Korea's Hungnam. In 1976, he was conscripted to the South Korean army where he fought against the North. A lawyer and activist, he was arrested for leading the protest against the authoritarian rule of Park Chung-hee, the father of former President Park Geun-hye. And as time changed, he swept to victory in 2017 to succeed the same Park Geun-hye out of office to become South Korea's president. On 9th May 2017, more than 2 decades after he helped lead the country to its first democratic elections, Moon Jae-in was voted as the president. He became the face of animal rights in the country after he fulfilled one of his election promises by adopting a dog from an animal sanctuary. He adopted Tori, Korea's first dog who was saved from a dog meat farm. He is credited with reforming the political and corporate tie-up along with dealing with rising inequality and youth unemployment. Moon met his wife, singer Kim Jong-suk, while both attended university and the couple got married in 1981. He was known to have an eccentric style while growing up to be a lawyer, but not many knew that the same man will change the dynamics of the Korean peninsula and get the two nuclear powers, America and North Korea, to talk. Bureau Report, WION.
Her family has been fighting for justice for the last 6 years, not just for her, but for all the women in Ireland who want to make a choice. Savita Halappanavar's death led to a historic change in Ireland. A draconian law was repealed after 35 years. Savita's family couldn't have hoped for a better way to honour her memory. But now they have one last request for the Irish people.
Votes in favour of the proposal, 1,429,981.
Tears of joy rolling down their cheeks as they usher in a new era. An era where women's choices are respected. On Saturday, Ireland overturned one of the world's strictest abortion laws after 3.5 decades. And the scenes in Dublin were surreal.
First of all, the people have spoken. And they're saying that this is a country in which we trust women and respect their choices. And thank you so much for making today possible. Thank you.
Ireland made history.
We made history! We made history! We made history!
And in celebrating it, one name made its way onto everyone's lips. Savita Halappanavar, the 31-year-old Indian dentist who was the driving force behind the campaign to liberalise abortion. Savita died in 2012 in Ireland after she was denied an abortion due to the Catholic country's strict legislation. Her story became the tipping point of anger over the Irish Constitution's 8th Amendment, the legislation that made sure her pregnancy wasn't terminated. Over the weekend, as celebrations erupted on the streets of Dublin, a mural to Savita turned into a shrine. Awaiting the results of the referendum, Savita Halappanavar's parents were overjoyed to know their daughter's sacrifice didn't go in vain. Expressing his heartfelt gratitude, Savita's father thanked the people of Ireland for honouring his daughter. He just had one more thing to ask, and I quote, "We have one last request, that the new law, that it is called Savita's Law, it should be named for her." His hope found resonance with pro-choice campaigners in Ireland. And why wouldn't it? Savita was the face of their campaign. Had it not been for her, many like her would have suffered the same fate. For now, a battle has been won. one that the Irish Parliament will have to pass before it becomes a law. The country's health minister will seek cabinet backing to draft a legislation that would allow abortions within the first 12 weeks of pregnancy and up to 24 weeks in exceptional circumstances. And the pro-choice Irish government hopes that the legislation will be passed by the end of this year. 6 years after her death, Savita Halappanavar is now a symbol of change in Ireland. But it remains to be seen if she'll be immortalised with a law in her name. Bureau Report, WION.
In India, we often complain about coalition politics and what a mess it is. We say it only happens in India. Turns out that's not true. Every democracy enjoys or suffers, as you might call it, the flip side of democracy. Tonight we show you a political deadlock in Italy, the kind we've seen very often in India. Italy stares at yet another election as none of the leading parties have made a successful bid to form a government. After more than 2 months of hectic parleys, Italy's Prime Minister in waiting has now given up. He has failed to convince the country's president. Former International Monetary Fund official Carlo Cottarelli has now got a chance to form a government. Will he be able to break the deadlock? Or is it only a matter of time when Italy goes for fresh elections? Our next report brings you the possibilities and incredible parallels with India.
Out-of-control ministers of parliament, newly elected partymen locked up in luxurious resorts, even a brawl inside a state assembly. Anyone well-versed with Indian politics will tell you there is never a dull day in the life of an Indian politician. The story in Italy, it appears, is no different. After Germany battled for 5 months over coalition politics, politicians in Italy are facing a not-so-different challenge. Giuseppe Conte, who was the Prime Minister in waiting, has now refused to take up the post.
As it was anticipated, I have given back the mandate that I received from the President of the Republic, Mattarella, for forming the government of change. I thank the President of the Republic for giving me the mandate on 23rd May, and I am grateful to the two political leaders, Luigi Di Maio of the Five Star Movement and the League's Matteo Salvini, for having suggested my name.
For more than 2 months now, the far-right Lega Party and the Five Star Movement have been desperately trying to form a government. The elections held on March 4th ended in a hung parliament. But Italy's President Sergio Mattarella refused to play ball with the Prime Minister designate of both parties. President Mattarella refused to accept Paolo Savona as the next finance minister of the country. The disagreement is over Italy's membership of the European Union. While President Mattarella wants Italy to remain a member of the European Union, both Giuseppe Conte and Paolo Savona are seen as Eurosceptics. President Mattarella, who holds the power to reject cabinet appointees, refuses to back down.
The uncertainty over our position in the European Union has created concerns for Italian and foreign investors who have invested in our instruments and our companies. The increase in the differential with the German interest rates only makes our public debt bigger day by day.
So, the question is whether Italy is now staring at another round of elections. This in case both sides refuse to blink. But the leaders of Lega Party and the Five Star Movement are now training their guns on the president. Calling for Mattarella's impeachment, both parties are now blaming Germany, economic lobbies and ratings agencies for meddling. Bureau Report, WION.